Hi, my name is Kaylee. Welcome to a really gentle style yoga practice. If you happen to have a pillow, that's going to be a really nice addition for your practice today. If not, you can do the posture that we're going to practice using a pillow without a pillow. But again, if you can grab a pillow, if it's not too inconvenient, or to grab a stack of blankets or towels or something that can kind of serve as a soft base, um, you'll probably be glad that you did. All right, we will visit that in just a moment. Let's start this practice either seated or lying down on your back, wherever you feel like you have the best chance of dropping into your body, of checking in, go there. So a lot of the time, and be really honest with yourself, a lot of the time when I'm practicing in my own space, I choose to lie down. If you feel like maybe today you have a little bit more energy, or it just feels actually kind of nice to stay upright, go for it. But if even a little part of you is like, you know what, laying down sounds like a good idea, then please do so. So take a moment, let yourself shift around a little bit in whatever shape you're choosing to start your practice. And then eventually let your body become still. Let it become completely still. And even if that takes a little time, if you have to finesse a couple more little shrugs of the shoulders, or wiggles around in your hips or your low back, do what you need to do and then drop into stillness. As you come to a still posture, start to shift your attention onto your breath. Let your next inhale go a little bit deeper, as if you could breathe down into your belly and into the bottom of the lungs. And then exhale, either through an open mouth or through your nose. See if you release a little bit of tension in the shoulders or the jaw. Let's do that again. So take a deep breath in. Let your lower belly expand. Let the bottom of your ribs expand as the bottom of your lungs fills, and continue to let the breath roll up through the sides of the chest all the way to the space around your heart. And then exhale through your nose or your mouth, maybe relaxing any gripping in the belly or the pelvis. Let's do one more long breath like that. Inhale through your nose, filling the belly, filling the chest, maybe even filling your collarbones and your shoulders lift up a little bit at the top of that in-breath. When you're ready, open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. If you're not already on your back, go ahead and work your way onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest, and then just start to draw some circles with the knees in any way that feels good. You might be rocking side to side. I like to bring my palms to my kneecaps and then move the knees in opposite directions. So although we call these knee circles, you're actually sometimes moving a lot more through the hip. So notice the sensation in the hip where the thigh bone connects to your pelvis. And then go ahead and drop the left foot down, extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. You can circle through your right ankle a few times, move around in any way that feels good, but try and keep those movements kind of slow. Maybe you spread the toes out. If you're circling your ankle, switch the direction of those circles. And then find just a little hamstring stretch here. You might start to slide your hands up higher toward your calf or your ankle. You might draw your leg a little closer to your chest. Not forcing this stretch, just letting the muscles and the tissues in the back of your right leg enjoy a gentle little bit of lengthening there. And stay here, or we're going to turn this into a half happy baby. You might choose to use your peace fingers and bind your right big toe as you guide your right knee toward the outside of your right rib cage. Left knee can stay pointing upward, or you might extend your left leg out in front of you. I'm just checking in again with the sensation in the back of the right hip and thigh. Let's see if you can send some of your breath into the area that feels tightest or that feels most affected by this stretch. Notice if you're picking up tension in the jaw. You soften and just breathe. A couple more rounds of breath here. I'm going to extend that leg upward again. Bring your hands behind the knee. Slide your left foot down underneath your left knee if you moved it. And then set up a figure four, bringing the outer edge of your right ankle over the top of the left thigh. And bring your arms to your side or a goalpost, or you might reach between the legs and catch the back of the left thigh, or even catch the front of the left shin. The practice today, we won't be holding the stretches for a ton of time. We are here lingering in the sensation, giving ourselves a chance to breathe into whatever sensory experiences come up with these stretches, letting the body receive the sensation without overdoing it. So hopefully we're finding that just right amount of time, just right amount of sensation. Let's keep the right leg on top of the left leg, but go ahead and slide your right knee all the way on top of the left knee. Push into your left foot for a moment. Lift your hips just so that you can sneak them over to the right a tiny bit, and then drop your knees to your left. You can keep your nose pointing straight upward or nod your chin toward your right shoulder. And keep some length in those upper bones of your spine, your cervical vertebra there. And let the breath move down, all the way down into the lower belly. As you exhale, let your knees and your shoulders get heavy. You soften any gripping in your hands or your feet. Notice if you're holding tension in your ankles or your wrists. These little patterns of where we hold tensions, neuromuscular patterns that we play. In a practice like this, you have an opportunity to start to notice some of those habitual kind of tension spirals that we might be engaged in. And just the act of noticing is often enough to start to unwind some of that gripping. Your head and your neck back through the center as you take a breath in. Bring your knees back through the center. Untangle your legs, stretch them out. Release your arms by your side. Pause and take a breath in neutral. So you're in Shavasana, just a little kind of very brief Shavasana to reset. When you're ready, you bring your feet down, knees up, and bring your right knee or left knee, into your chest. And then extend your left leg up toward the ceiling. Any kind of slow movement in your left foot or ankle that feels appropriate here. Maybe you spread the toes or curl them in. If you are making ankle circles, can you make those circles really, really smooth, really deliberate, and then switch the direction. You stay here or intensify that hamstring stretch, walking your hands up the leg a little bit, guiding the leg toward your chest a little bit. Maybe you curl the left toes toward your left knee. Maybe today's a day where you just want to relax the foot. And eventually we'll take this into our half happy baby variation, catching the left big toe with your left peace fingers. Maybe you catch the outside of the left foot. Remember, right knee can stay bent and pointed toward the ceiling, or if it feels better in your hips and your pelvis to straighten that right leg out, go for it. Notice how the sensation of the stretch maybe shifts a little bit as we linger here. Let the body adjust and adapt. We're going to bring that left leg back up. Bend the right knee if you straightened it and set up for your figure four. And keep your right foot down, or if it feels nice, you might reach between the legs and catch somewhere on your right leg to hug in a bit. So much of this practice, especially a slower practice, invites us to be really honest with ourselves, really honest with what our body is asking us for. Really willing to practice that radical acceptance. Maybe to lower the stakes a little bit, right? So we don't get too attached to a certain depth of any of these poses, or even a certain intensity to any of the sensations. I know some days my body's craving really intense stretch sensation, and other days it's just not. And I think there's most likely a time and a place for both. So more in some cases isn't always more. Let's set up that spinal twist. First, guide your left knee all the way on top of your right knee. You can push into your bottom foot to shift your hips just a little bit to the left before you drop your knees to the right. T or cactus the left arm. Keep the neck long, either pointing your nose up toward the ceiling or nodding your chin toward your left shoulder. And then follow the rhythm of your breath here without needing to control it. Just taking nice deep inhales, feeling if you can move that breath all the way down to the back side of your left hip. And let the exhales dissipate any really obvious tension, maybe those layers of tension just on the surface. And when you're ready, inhale your head and your knees back through the center, and then roll all the way over onto either side. So pause in a fetal position and then press up to a seat. We're going to set up for deer pose. This is where we're going to use that pillow if you happen to have one. So you're going to bend both of your knees over to the right side of your space, and then bring the pillow right next to your right hip. Mine's just a few inches in front of my right hip here. You're going to take your fingertips and frame the pillow with your fingertips here. Sit up really tall, take a big breath in, the chest is lifted, and then we're going to crawl the heart toward the pillow. Start to work your fingertips down. You might tuck your arms underneath the pillow, eventually rest onto that pillow. And then make some adjustments once you get there. I'm going to snuggle my pillow a little bit closer to my hips here. You can keep your face pointing in the same direction as your chest. You can also rotate your head so that in this case, your left ear is on the pillow, and find a little bit of rotation through the neck as well. It's a bit more intense of a version of this stretch. Feel free to start with your head on one side, and if it feels like you need to change, you absolutely can. So I tend to like to take the gentler version of the stretch, keeping my nose and my chest pointing in the same direction. But do whatever makes the most sense for you. And maybe today's a day where you're new to this shape and so you want to experiment a bit with it. Great. Let yourself really settle into the support. And feel the texture of whatever you're resting against, whether you've got a pillow or not.
And take 2 more rounds of breath, using the inhales to maybe move some energy toward where you feel sensation in the stretch. Using the exhales to soften any obvious tension, to unclench the jaw, unfurrow the brow. And then start to walk yourself back inward and upward. Options to release the stretch, bring your hands back behind you. You could toggle the knees side to side slowly. I like to straighten the legs out and kind of wiggle the feet side to side. Just take a moment. Notice any difference in the sensation in the right and the left side body, right and the left leg. And then we're going to set up deer on the other side. You can move your prop or you can just turn around. Knees go to the left, bringing that prop outside of your left hip. And then rotate your chest toward the left, frame your pillow. Start to walk your hands forward until you can rest on that pillow. And make some adjustments once you get there. I know sometimes a gentler stretch like this is a hard sell for some of us. We're oftentimes looking for like a bigger sensation. And sometimes that can feel really satisfying. But some of this practice is allowing our awareness, our perception to become a little bit keener so that we can pick up on more subtle sensations. We can actually intensify our level of sensitivity so that we can notice stuff going on in the body before it gets really, really intense, right? So there's this opportunity to train our nervous system here, to find a little bit more ease, a little bit more sense of security. And we can do that by breathing in a way that helps create a deeper connection. So if you aren't feeling enough sensation here, see if you can start just by deepening the connection with your breath. Just take one more cycle of breath, breathing in through your nose, and exhaling completely, let it go. And start to lift the head up, walk the hands back. Bring the hands behind you, either toggling your knees or straightening your legs out. A moment to let that kind of soak into your muscles, your connective tissue. And then let's find a seat again before Shavasana. So do a little bit of shoulder work, and absolutely prop yourself up on that pillow if that helps you find some more ease in a seat. Can be a nice way to lift the hips up. That actually feels really nice today. Take the arms out to the side in a goalpost shape, and then pull your elbows back as you lift the chest and the chin. Your tailbone is gently tilting back behind you in space. Stay here, a nice long inhale, open up through the collarbones. And then as you exhale, bring the palms together, round your spine, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. See if you can broaden the space between the shoulder blades and the spine here. So really let shoulders melt away from midline and shrug up toward your ears. Come back to that open shape. Inhale, bend your elbows, lift your chest, lift your chin. Then exhale slow as you round your spine, gently pressing the palms and the fingertips together to increase that stretch in the upper back. 2 more times. Inhale, peeling open, lifting the chin. And exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, pull your low belly toward your lower back. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Up through the center, interlace your fingers, press your palms up toward the ceiling. Root down through your sit bones, and then see if you can grow a little bit longer through the sides of the waist. So it's gentle, but imagine that you could lift your ribs away from your pelvis. Stay there for another breath in. And then let's bring that right hand down, left arm up, taking a side body stretch. Might feel good to nod your chin gently from shoulder to shoulder. Find that spot where the stretch feels good in your neck. And also turn that top hand down. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. I'm going to add a little row, so a little body weight row, reaching that left elbow toward your left shoulder and then extending that left arm up over your head. It's almost just like a little, imagine that you're just moving through water or a cloud or something. So instead of generating a lot of muscular resistance here, you feel this movement getting smoother and smoother in the shoulder, in the neck, softening the jaw. Take that left arm long over your head as you breathe in. And then circle your hands in front of you. Take a little forward fold. Maybe give your chin a gentle shake or a little nod here. We're going to start to crawl the fingers back. Slowly lift the head, the neck, the chest. Bend your elbows. Find that goalpost shape. Lift the chest, lift the chin. Breathe in. Interlace your fingers in front of you and then extend up toward the ceiling. Stay there. Take another deep breath in. Left hand drops, right arm reaches. Same thing on this side. You can push into that bottom hand for a little counterbalance to keep your right sit bone down. Maybe you nod your chin up and down. And then option to add that body weight row, bending the elbow. Feel free to rotate your palm along with you here. Find some softness through the fingers. Maybe you're moving with breath, inhaling as you lengthen the right arm over to the left, and then exhaling as you draw the elbow to your side. Let's keep the right arm reaching overhead. Take a breath in. This time, bring both of your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind you. I'll turn to the side. You can absolutely stay on that prop, but tug the knuckles down gently. Lift the chest, lift the chin. Shoulders are squeezing toward each other. Let it be gentle. Take a couple breaths there. Opening up to the front of the ribs, maybe even broadening out the collarbones a little bit. Imagining that like notch between the collarbones, softening. And then release the hands, move your prop, bring your knees to your chest. I suppose it's a pillow. You could actually move your prop behind you for a little literal pillow for Shavasana, but when you're ready, roll it down nice and easy. Keep the knees bent to start and then just toggle your knees side to side real slowly. Maybe it's a small range of motion today. Resetting through the hips and the pelvis. Eventually, you can extend one leg at a time away from your lumbar spine. Release one arm at a time down by your side. Perhaps you shrug your shoulders a little closer together on the mat beneath you. Let the feet flop open. And do a little check with the back of the neck. It might feel good to tuck the chin just an 1/8 of an inch and then relax the head back down, finding a little bit more space in the back of the neck. We'll stay here for a guided body scan as different parts of your body are mentioned. See if you can breathe your awareness into those places. Notice any sensations there. And as you exhale, it's just an invitation to maybe let go of any tension. It's like a full reset for the nerves. And start by bringing your awareness to the crown of your head. Noticing any sensations in the crown of the head or the scalp as you take a slow inhale, breathing into it. And then as you exhale, allowing it to release. And bring your awareness to your eyes, noticing any sensation around the eyes or the eyeballs. And bring your awareness to your mouth, noticing any sensation around your lips, your tongue, your jaw. Let the awareness move down into the shoulders. Noticing any sensation in the shoulders, the chest, or the arms. And let the awareness continue to travel down into the belly, down into the pelvis and the hips, maybe the lower back. And washing your attention down through the legs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles. Noticing any sensation in your feet or your toes. And staying here for just a few more moments, noticing anywhere where the mind feels pulled, whether it's physical sensations in the body, or feelings or emotions or thoughts that might come and go. Just giving yourself some spaciousness to exist as you are, without needing to change or control anything in this space. Whatever arises for you, whatever's present right here in this moment, let's collectively take a deep breath into that, into the experience, whatever it's holding for you. Breathe into it, soak it up. And when you're ready, open your mouth and let it go. And start to bring some gentle movement into your body by nodding your head side to side. Open and close your hands. Curl and uncurl your toes. And eventually, take your time to transition maybe through the fetal position first, but up to a seat eventually. And when you land, you can pause and acknowledge yourself for taking some time to connect, to be more present, to be a little bit more mindful in your body, in your heart. And trust that practices like these have this huge return on investment. When you're ready, release your arms to the side. We'll take a big cleansing breath. Reach up, gathering up some of that good energy, and then bring your hands together. Pull it right into your heart space. Thanks for sharing some time, some energy. I hope that you feel well and take good care of yourself.